Hello again, Ian Stokey with Mastermind Games, back for more Malifaux. This time the December Acolytes. Fair Skin 09047. So December is one of the 13 tyrant entities imprisoned in Malifaux. They were stripped of their physical forms centuries ago when the original denizens of Malifaux basically called down the apocalypse. But since the second opening of the breach to Malifaux, they have begun to wake up. And December has called many cultists to him across the wastes. These are all women right here, but in the fiction the cult includes men as well. But the tyrants need to possess a body to really do much of anything, and December is bound to a woman named Rasputina. Now, let's see. Ashen Blue 09057. And I should mention, as December is very much a spirit of hunger, or an entity possessed of hunger, his cultists are for the most part cannibals. Going for a sort of Arctic camouflage look, or that's the intent. So, and his cult is situated in the higher regions of the mountains of Malifaux. Rasputina's primary responsibility as a member of the Arcanists, based on her positioning, is to ambush guild caravans. Now, in the art, they have bare hands, but to me that wouldn't make much sense for them being in Arctic wastelands, so I'm painting them as if they're wearing gloves. They do have skinning knives. They're not really shown, as well as harpoons of sworded styles. Alright. And then I'll get the half mask in this color as well. And back in a bit. Okay, next up, Rain Gray 09038. Just a bit. It's just starting off the hair. If I can get the cap back on. For the most part, I'll only be doing one model on camera effectively, but on smaller portions like this, that paint is too thick. Just hit them all real quick. It's just a tiny bit more to imply that they have hair under those hoods than anything else. And now Ghost White 09063. It's kind of a pale blue-gray. Getting a nice solid coat on the underside of the coat, ironically. My basing again is hand sculpted, whereas a lot of the models I've been doing lately I could picture being encountered in the city itself. December Acolytes tend to operate in the mountains. leader, Rasputina, was one of the first Arcanist masters to come out. I've already done a video, or I haven't done a video for her, but I've already got her, so it's unlikely I'll be doing a video for a version of Rasputina. Her cultists are thoroughly merciless. Well, Rasputina does work for the Arcanists. Her internal battle with the tyrant entity December is a major concern on if she's going to end up being usable to them or end up turning on them. And so far, she's managed to beat out December at every turn, but the latest ploy, well, maybe, when the Fey Queen Titania rose from the grave into undeath, the tyrants panicked because she is the one they deposed before ascending to power. And December flooded Rasputina with even more power than he ever had before. He'd claimed out of fear, but it could be another one of his ploys. Okay, that's pretty good. A little more there. Apply to the rest and move on in a bit. Alright, next up, oiled leather 0910. Getting some belts and straps here. And I know this kind of goes against the camouflage color scheme, but I need something a little different in there to give some visual interest, so got a double belt around the waist to keep these clothes nice and tight. Okay, let's see. Okay, so the other end of the harness for the quiver of spears goes under the fur trim on her coat. This sculpt threw me off because logically I thought the spears would have to be the other way around, but that wasn't the case. And then that's a little too thick. Okay, the straps securing the harpoon gun to the forearm. And that's good. Now I just need to apply to the rest. Alright. 09062 leather white. Well, this is going to be similar to the ghost white at first. I'll be doing some playing around with that shading on that color to get some different effects. I'm a little tired, getting a little long-winded, so I'm just gonna get that's too thick. Get the trim on this secondary skirt here. Just worry about the outside of it. Just worry about the outside of it. No. There's enough of it showing on the inside. I feel compelled to do that as well. And then the collar. Alright, apply to the rest and move on. just about done. Old Bronze 09197. Getting over the spear gun here. This will likely be a spring-loaded mechanism. Okay. Just gotta have the spear and the base left, and that's it. Next, Tarnished Steel 09206. This is running a bit thin. Being careful here not to nick the coat. I just noticed a big ugly patch I missed on the scabbard here. I'll have to touch that up on camera. Okay. Apply to the rest. One more base coat. Alright, last base coat. Misty Gray 09090. No, actually, I'm going to use the uniform gray instead and have this be more conventional stone. I will be flocking this a little bit at the end, after everything is all said and done and dry. Being careful around the feet. Yeah, this particular rock was an afterthought. I saw how much of the base was still empty, so it's not as smoothly sculpted into the rest of it as the other protrusions on the bases are. Okay. Apply the other one little spot right there. Now apply to the other two and move on. Okay, shading. Blackened Steel 09205. Using 1 part paint to 1 part water to thin it out into a wash. And just going over the base coat. And back in a minute. 09061 Linen White. Okay. Next up, Pure Black 09037. Now with particularly dark colors, you want to use 2 to 3 parts water for 1 part paint. Just filling in the hair. This one actually doesn't really have any visible. Aged Pewter 09196. Okay. Oiled Leather 09109. Being careful around the coat and the fur trim. I don't want to get that by mistake. Okay. Apply that to the rest and move on. Alright. Ashen Blue 09057. So I use this as a base coat on the pants and the masks and gloves. I'm thinking I'll end up with a kind of blue-gray by the time I'm done. So there is more experimenting going on here. But you never learn anything new unless you try something new, so... Except I just did that on a glove. Let's try that again. So it's not going to affect the way the glove looks in the end because it's the same exact color, so... Trying to get a nice solid coat on the inside of the capes here, cloaks, coats, whatever. Being careful around the fringe and the collars. But I do want a solid coat over all of this. Boots. And apply the other two. So far, so good. Alright. Templar blue, 09056. Just 2 left. No, 3 left. Bit too much on the brush. Okay, so I just use that paper towel to dab off some excess paint. Apply the other two and move on. Okay, last 2 shades. Fair Shadow 09046. Okay. I was dropping hundreds of frames a second there. Pretty much the only skin showing is just enough of the eyes so they can see. And then Stormy Gray 09088. Nice solid coat over the basing here. Okay, apply the other two, and once that's dry, I can highlight in detail. Okay, highlight in detail. Matte white. This is an army painter color. So, just using a small brush, just filling in the eyes. And then pure black 09037. Which is letting me right this second. So you do clear the nozzle with a paper clip. It's better. Make sure I'm not dropping thousands of frames a second. carefully dot in pupils. If I can get my brush to cooperate at any rate. Now to actually highlight, throw that out there. Fair highlight 09048. I'm using a dry brushing technique, so ragged feathered brush, no water. Rub most of the paint out on a paper towel, just like I showed you there. And lightly dust the area to be affected, so catching them raised areas, but leave the underlying, the lowest parts alone. And next, Ghost White 09063. I'll start doing these colors one at a time, or on just one model now to save on length. Again, rubbing most of the paint out on a paper towel and lightly dusting the area to be affected. I was also going to go on the trim, on the fur trim, so I'll get that while I'm at it. It's got a bit too much paint on it there. Concerning myself mostly with the most readily visible surfaces, and not every single surface on the model. And that's pretty good for that one. I'll apply to the rest and be back in a moment. Alright, next up, taking matte white again. Still dry brushing. This time going over the boots. And the coats. Pretty much getting the bulk of the outfit here. A full Arctic camouflage look. Okay, that's not bad. Apply to the rest and move on. Burnt orange 09111, which is also visibly clogged, so paperclip hoe. Don't restrict yourself to just one brush. Use whatever size and shape you need to get the job done. There's much to be said about going smaller when you need to. Getting a little long-winded there. Next few are so small, just get them all on camera real quick. next, Tarnished Brass 09198. Just shining up the armaments. A nice brass finish. And True Silver 09207. Shining up their nice pointy ammunition. And I'm gripping this one by the model itself instead of the base because of the one tiny little connection point to the base. And now Misty Gray 09090. This is the last shade, or highlight, excuse me. Been a long week, very tired. And then apply that to the rest, wrap up the painting, and then there'll be one more step after that. Pure Black 09037. Which is starting to run out, but I have a substitute on hand if I need it. I'm switching to a flathead brush for this next step. I'm just carefully lining the base, going close to but not trying to avoid touching the basing I put in there. This is all hand sculpted. Okay, apply that to the other two, then 2 more steps, well, technically 3 before I finish. Okay, second to last step, numbering them for my convenience, using matte white again, and just Roman numerals, 1, 2, and 3. Once that's completely dry, there's 2 more steps actually. Alright, second to last step, I'm going to be selectively flocking them. To tidy up some of my brushes a little bit. So using a conveniently available container, in this case a Gatorade lid, generous amount of white glue, and dilute it with some water, and that should be enough for this one. Now take the worst brush you have. This will ruin your brushes more quickly, so again, don't use your best, use your worst. Now I've got in this container some white flock, fake snow basically. It's the only one I had left. And then I'm going to, on this one, selectively paint the solution on part of the rim, then into my fake snow, and there we go. I don't do this too often for Malifaux, so I'll go ahead and do the rest. Gonna put this on the crude line here of my little afterthought. Give it a dip. Not too much, so I'm gonna take a, sorry it's a bit off camera, I'm gonna take a brush that's trying to push off some of the excess where I don't want it. That's not too bad. And for the third, make sure I get more glue than water. Bit there, on the back, and use my paper towel and soak up some of that excess up front. Maybe just brush that off with my finger a bit, and not too bad. Just clean it up a little. And let that dry completely before sealing it. And I'll show that too. Alright, last step. Take a sprayer brush on adhesive. Glass eye drop, and this stuff will bond to plastic quickly. So bear that in mind. Just carefully applying it to the flock. This will seal it, keep it on the model and not anywhere else. You can also use this pretty sparingly. Just a tiny drop will service a fairly large area. Always clean your eyedropper out very thoroughly to use. And the final step, once this is completely dry, will be to seal it with a varnish of some type. I prefer an anti-shine matte. But that's it. The December Acolytes. More Malifaux up next. Until then, I am Ian Stookie with Mastermind Games, signing out.